Hey, I'm Parav. I'm one of the co-founders of PUG, and I just wanted to give a quick demo of our ID extension. So to start off, there's two main challenges that we're trying to solve. One of them is making it easier to onboard newer developers and make sure that your code base has continuous context in terms of documentation. But the other challenge is making sure that AI agents hallucinate less. So right now, if you're using tools like Cursor, one of the main problems is that as your codebase gets larger, it struggles to truly understand your codebase, and the issues surface in a couple different ways. So one of the more obvious ones is with features. Let's say like you're trying to build on a feature. A lot of times what Cursor does is that it'll read one or two of the files, make changes to those files, run a linter check, and then realize it broke three other files, and then it has to go back in and fix those issues. And then another issue is that let's say you're using a very specific version of a library. What happens a lot of the times is because LLMs are trained on older or deprecated data, they start to use deprecated practices. So we essentially make sure that this doesn't happen and the LLMs hallucinate less. And the way we do this is that we help you generate docs and diagrams straight from your codebase, and it can also be injected into your AI agent automatically as an agent rule or cursor rule. So here's a quick demo. So let's say you to activate our extension, you press Command-Shift-D on your keyboard. So we have a couple different features here. We have package upgrade guides, which help you migrate to a newer version of a package. So what it'll do is that we'll parse the change logs online, go through your codebase to see how you're using a library, and then generate a migration plan for your LLM to help it understand how to actually make the migration happen. We also have several documentation tools. So we have library docs, which allow you to document how a specific library is used across your codebase with examples. We have file docs, and then we also have feature docs that show how features are built across files. And then lastly, we have different types of diagrams. So we have flowcharts, sequence diagrams, ER diagrams, and more. And then all of this data can also be exported to Confluence, Notion, or PDF based on what you use. And if you're using our platform sleeve, it'll actually automatically be synced through GitHub. So here's an example of what documentation looks like. We've actually built out our own Notion style editor, so you can edit things with slash commands, and essentially it's just a nicer layer on top of the markdown file, but you can always just use the normal markdown editor if you prefer to write in markdown. So this is an example of library documentation, and then here's like a sample flowchart, for example, that we generated and explains like how our writing assistant works in this project. So yeah, that's a very quick overview of it. And then we also have a couple other features, like we have function level documentation. So like let's say you're on a function within a file, you can right click on it, analyze with PUG, and then it'll also document exactly like how that function is being used in other files or across your code base, and also diagram it for you. But yeah, that's a brief overview of what we're building. Thank you.